Hey, loser. We're back. It's part 2. If you haven't heard part 1, make sure to head on back to part 1 of the startup. Why am I introducing her so quickly? Hi, are you good?
Hi.
I feel like I don't want to start it like we usually do because this is a part 2. It's a continuation.
Right.
So for those of you who don't know, my name is Nwabi Samsizi. I am the co-founder of the H-Word, a satin accessories business that produces locally sold and locally South African sold satin accessories and hair and skin products. With me is my co-founder, friend, and business partner, Kristen Hill, aka
This book.
If you guys want to know more about us, make sure you guys go to www.thehword.co.za. Maybe you buy something. Perhaps you support. Do what makes you feel good on the inside and the wallet. Nonetheless, New Money Rookies is a weekly podcast that gives you a behind-the-scenes look at how Kristen and myself run a small business in South Africa in this economy. It gives you a very nice highlight into the challenges and the obstacles and the milestones that we've achieved. But most of all, or the most important part, is it gives you an idea of how to balance partnership versus friendship. Christy, we're back.
Hi.
I thought you didn't want to see me after hours. What's this?
The suspicions.
It's getting risky, hey? Okay, guys, so if you want to understand what we're going to discuss next, once again, make sure you go and listen to episode 2, the startup. This is episode 2.2. The startup continues. In the beginning of episode 2, I mentioned how we got registered through a bookkeeper, right? So that's the I've got money that I can use. But if you don't have money, if you genuinely can't afford to start with 1,000 Rand, you need to have at least, I believe, 300 Rand. In my mind, you need to at least have 300 Rand, because if you go to SEDA, you take a taxi, you go to SEDA. SEDA is the Small Enterprise Development Agency. It is funded by the government, and they are there to help you register your business, register all the documentation for your business. We are a online retail business, so it would have been easy for them to register us with CIPC, register us with any other BE or any document that we needed. If you are a construction company, they will help you register with CSD and all these other databases. So definitely, if money is an issue starting your business, it shouldn't be. Find your local SEDA. Small towns have them. And then usually, not too far from SEDA, you will find the NYDA, which is it's another government association. Kristen's going to look it up for me.
You keep springing this on me.
I'm so sorry. It's a funding.
It's the National Youth Development Agency.
There we go. It is an agency that helps you fund your business ideas. They have money. You go to SEDA. SEDA helps you with a business plan, everything you need, and you head on over and they will help you. We are not sponsored by them, but government, if you want to sponsor. We're just here to show you guys that there is a zero cash option. And then obviously you would need to go and open a bank account, and that's where you might use a bit more money from there. But that is just a clarification for those of you who don't have the bookkeeper route like us. Further on, Kristen, I have a few questions actually.
Yes. I didn't know that this would be a part of it. Yes.
I have a few questions. Allow me, because you know I'm not the smartest cookie in the book when it comes to research, especially in the market aspect. Go a bit further into it. Explain it for me so that I can kind of like come out of this fully understanding.
So I said in the previous episode that it's good to research your competitors across the board, from big to small, even those that aren't quite in your specific niche. Have an overbite, okay?
English is killing you too.
Even those that aren't in your specific niche, like we are a small business who sells satin items, and we sell that predominantly online. So we looked at other small businesses who sell satin items online. But we also looked at bigger businesses like Mr. Price and Clicks and Discam who also sell satin items physically. I think they also sell it online as well. It's a good idea to get an overall picture of this new industry that you're going into. It's also a good idea to do a PESTLE analysis on your business. We'll link that in another document below, exactly what it is. It's political, economic, social, technological, legal, and environmental. So we'll explain that in the document, but one thing I wanted to bring up is the technological factor. When you start out, you might not have all of the tools and necessities that other bigger companies or companies that have been in the game longer than you have. And it's important to start with what you can afford, what you can get your hands on basically. And you can aspire to that bigger thing, but you shouldn't think in your mind that, oh, you need to have this thing in order to do it. Unless you like absolutely do have to have it.
If you're one of those people.
Yeah. So that's just something to keep in mind, especially since, the bigger competitors will have factories. The smaller competitors will have one person behind the scenes wheeling as fast as they can.
And guys, it's the start up. You start and then you go up. It's not the start, I've got everything together and now I'm just like going through life. It's you start where you are with what you have and you go up.
Exactly.
I will say, though, with the PESTLE analysis, if you look at political in terms of the H-word, right? The political environment at the time, or just the environmental at the time, was the pandemic. Mm-hmm. Not only was that, but politically, like, they closed off borders. So the import and exporting was an issue, which meant with certain material, with us in specific, there was going to be major issues. We were in a situation where after months of research, we'll talk about samples and vendors later, don't forget. Make sure you tune in for that. But once we had everything, our supplier, Kaboom, wasn't supplying anymore to the country. So somebody out of the country can still get that material, but we in South Africa can't. So check what's happening politically. Check what's happening in your environment. These are all such important aspects in running a business outside of just your competitor, but like just in terms of your entire business. Like those notes Christy's going to put in for you guys are going to be so crucial. I think we learned the hard way.
The super hard way, yeah.
Like we got our asses kicked and handed to us and we're like, okay. So that's why the PESTLE analysis is very important.
Roll back onto our feet.
And then just with before Kristen carries on, just with the legal guys, I know from us, I didn't do the research, Kristen did with us. Check what legally you need to have in place for your business. Kristen, I don't remember what you saw, what you researched, but I remember I knew that you had checked what we needed legally, so I was like, I'm not checking.
It was mainly to do with what industry we fall under, which was beauty, and not textiles. And that there really wasn't any regulation for beauty and food. That time I was very surprised. So it was just checking what we needed to be aware of. But coming back to the PESTLE analysis, at that time, when we did we kind of didn't do it we didn't do it formally, but informally, all the answer to that PESTLE analysis was pandemic. Economic pandemic. Social pandemic.
We're in the ghetto.
Truly. But it really works out if you explain it, write it down, even if you need to make like a recording of yourself to explain it out properly. Okay, the answer to the analysis or the reason you're writing down is pandemic, but why? So for economic, people don't want to spend money because they no longer have jobs.
Which heavily influences your selling point and so many other things, guys. But yes, we can't actually go into further detail without actually kind of ruining the upcoming episodes. I feel like the more we go into it, the more we want to discuss topics that are coming up in episode 3 and 4. So I think in terms of myself, in terms of my department in the H word, I have nothing else to share, Kristen. And you?
For myself, when you're reading up on everything, on the bank to choose, on the legal documents you need, don't be afraid of the jargon that you will encounter. If you need to Google a word, it doesn't make you stupid.
Because English will leave you in a desert with no water.
It's completely fine to just struggle through that jargon, even if you need to ask a friend or someone to help you understand it. It's okay. Okay, in the next episode, we are discussing suppliers and vendors, well, where to find them, how to engage them, how to get discounts, how to find the people who are trying to fleece you. There was this one old lady, this old Muslim lady. Goodness gracious, she nearly took all our money. I didn't tell you about this, but she nearly took all our money.
Episode 3 finna be fire.
Anyway, let's leave it there. Is there anything else?
No, guys. Make sure you follow, subscribe is all I'm going to say. We'll see you guys on the next episode.
Tot ziens.
See you, loser.